Hello everyone and welcome to another Starcraft 2 replay. This one's going to take place on Whirlwind. On the red Terran Ketroc spawning in the top right hand position. In the bottom left is the blue Terran End Forever. So my TvT, I think I mentioned a few times in videos, has been really bad since the start of this season. Maybe the end of last season too. My kind of really weird opener is probably starting to perform like weird build should, which is bad. There's a reason that uncommon builds aren't used. But for the most part, I feel the reason is because of Mech, and I think this shows a good example of the problems I'm having. So against Bio, I still feel pretty decent. Obviously, this build is still pretty fragile in that if something gets into your base, you might just die. If something busts through your ramp really quickly when you're not expecting, you may just die. And with my mini-map awareness, that happens more often than I would like. But I was always okay with that. Like my TvT was never great, but I felt like, every game I had the opportunity to win, so I'm okay with the build. Now I'm just not feeling so great about the build itself because Mech is coming into play. Even against Bio, I kind of switched it up where I'm just getting mass Ravens and just putting like double PF, triple PF at like bases, so expanding like crazy because I have so many minerals. And then Ravens actually do quite well versus Bio. The PDD can keep the PFs alive versus Marauders, so then Seeker Missile works good versus all things Bio, and then even sometimes you can find times a counter attack. Like I had that video the other week where I lost 18 command centers and still won the game, so that was pretty cool. Anyways, Mech. Let's bring up the production tab here. Looks like my opponent went command center first on Whirlwind. Don't think I got any worker kills there. I got one. So putting a little bit of pressure. He went command center first. I went one Rax command center, but I built another command center immediately afterwards before taking my gas. So this is my reaction to CC first, or if he goes like gas less fast expands like I do. Whenever they do that, I will go 3 command centers before gas. I still think I'm going to get an economic lead. Given he does have 2 orbitals up already, and he took his natural before me, and this harvester count might be a little bit ahead. The harvester count's about even. I'm going to be on 3 base pretty fast. I just kind of rely on the fact that this 3rd base probably won't be scattered for a while, so I don't turn into a PF for quite a while. I spend my gas on other things and get an SCV. The longer I can delay it, the more I can use this for earlier SCVs. So a couple of Hellions hanging out here, and they're going to poke in just at the right time, just when my Marines left before my PF is complete. But for the most part, he's not really doing much offensively, building his own 3rd command center now. Seeing the fact that I already have my 3rd. So you can see the harvester count now, I'm up 42 to 33, so I'm still happy with the opener. I'm got a defensive setup, I'm heading towards the Sky Terran tech that I want, and I almost always am ahead economically. And I got the turret ring too, so like really good, like a lot of money spent on defense and still ahead economically, so it's pretty cool. So as long as I can survive the army part, it turns out pretty well. So I think this game I'm going to play with a fast fusion core. The Hellions tipped me off that he's probably going Mech. You can't say for sure, but I'm going to guess that, and I'm going to try battle cruisers rather than Ravens. Ravens are decent. You can still Seeker Missile the tanks, which is awesome. But if he ever does a fast Thor switch and I don't have any battle cruisers, I'm pretty much dead. And battle cruisers, I still did the battle cruiser this opening with BCs and Wings of Liberty, and it worked okay. And BCs are only better now because Yamato's a lot cheaper. So close to being in range. Oh, I didn't get the +1. The +1 were complete. +1 were complete, that would be in range, I think. That's a little frustrating, actually. So the thing I'm actually afraid of the most is Hellbats. Because when you do this sort of push with Marines, Marines cannot get close to this PF or they just die. Same with Hellions, Hellions will just die. But Hellbats can actually kind of A-move at a PF, and they don't die. And not only that, they'll fry all your SCVs that are repairing. So I tried to like kind of seal off this area, try to make it hard for the Hellbats to get in deep. Maybe even like a depot here. It's hard because this is actually 3 distance, so it's hard to fill with a couple depots. So my first couple battle cruisers out, and I do have Yamato. I don't have range on. So here's where the Hellbats become a problem. The PF is just so slow at killing Hellbats, and just look at the Hellbats just frying my SCVs. Lack of turrets kind of hurts as well this game. And lack of range of my turrets, even the turrets I have aren't getting into the action quite as well. Actually, I did have a turret right here. It's hard to see without the range. And again, Hellions and Hellbats coming in, so it's getting really hard to repair with SCVs. I am floating a lot here. I probably don't have enough starports, but oh, and they're idle too. So I was pretty heavily distracted with how poorly this attack was going. So obviously some tweaks I can do to make it look a little better, but I basically lost every SCV here. Do have 3 BCs on the way now, but yeah, I think that's more or less, yeah, so it's GG out right now. So, right, the Mech, the idea behind this build is I don't need an army. I just get PFs and prevent the drop from getting past, getting around my PFs, and I'll be okay, right? Because the PF can kill everything with the repair except for siege tanks, and siege tanks you take out with Seeker Missile, or in this case, Yamato. Seeker Missile definitely works better, but then Thors can just kill me if he does that transition. So anytime I see Mech, I think I was going to go BCs. But the problem is the other units. It's not true anymore that the PF can kill anything early game unit, because the Hellbats are so, first of all, they're so chunky that the Planetary Fortress doesn't get really good splash damage like it does against, like, say, Marines, where it can hit like 8-9 Marines at the same time. And then there's so much health on the Hellbats. The Hellbats have 135 health. So with the command center, or with the PF doing 40 damage per shots, 4 shots just to kill a single Hellbat. So if he A moves with like 8 Hellbats, it'll take forever for a PF to cut through them all. And then the Hellbats can like just start stutter stepping in and not only attacking the PF, but killing all my SCVs, repairing the PF, which puts me not only behind economically, but threatens that the PF may go down because it's not getting proper repair. I think for a long time in Heart of the Swarm, Terrans were just afraid to go anywhere near a PF with their Hellbats because they're trained to think the way, like, you know, is this suicide? Because that's what happens with Hellions, that's what happens with Marines. But it's not so much suicide with Hellbats anymore, and Mech players are starting to figure that out. And yeah, so this is why this I think is the main reason why my win rate's so low. Like, it was already like 40-something%. It was below 50 just because of all the like the little things that might kill me. Like, if he just happens to drop a couple of Hellbats in here early game past my turret ring, even if you lose the medevac, I only have a handful of Marines, and I got pull SCVs, I might lose SCVs. There's just lots of little things. Like, if he stims bio and hits this ramp really quick before I can get off Seeker Missile, he'll bust through the ramp and actually get in, and then the game's over. But now on top of that, Mech is the most popular strategy, and I find like I can't beat Mech with what I'm doing. I mean, I win sometimes, but usually I think it's only like build versus build. I think I'm always at a deficit. It requires my opponents to make some mistakes and myself to do things, you know, beyond what I normally do, like on average. So this is what I'm working with. Recently, I started getting a quick Banshee out of the first starport. It's pretty good at identifying what sort of Terran build I'm up against, whether it be bio or mech. It also can force out turrets sometimes, which is nice. You know, even if the Banshee just flies over here, kills a couple SCVs, and flies home, that's like $100 worth of SCVs killed, and you're probably going to see at least like 3 or 4 turrets go down around his bases, so that's another $400. So that one Banshee causes like $500 worth of damage. And anything that can slow down my opponent's probably good for me. I still think late game that the BC Raven's basically impossible to beat, but I may have to find another way to get there. But we'll keep dabbling with different ideas. I tried siege tanks the other day, where I just kept like one siege tank here. Helps protect the ramp and keeps the Hellbats from pushing in, or at least hopefully keeps the Hellbats from pushing in. But then it just slows down my Ravens or BCs until so the early siege pushes become much more of a problem. Yeah, so I'm not ready to throw this build out, but I definitely want to dabble with different ideas, and this is why I'm not progressing up to Masters League. I'm saving in Diamond this season because I don't think my win rate's below 50% right now, and it's almost exclusively because of TvT. So yeah, anyways, check the description for a thumbs up link. Thank you guys for tuning in, and goodbye.